Hey, it gives me more subscribers though. Huh? Well, I've started
He
now.
said look in the chat. I will look in the chat. What?
Ah, that's funny. Fishy. That's very funny. Right. Stream. Oh, there's people. Hi! Welcome. Philip's in Mitchell. Welcome to the stream. But don't open the door yet. I think we're still waiting for like a few people. Hi, Ryan, and hello, Jacobo. Yeah, it's gonna be an amazing race. No one knows what's gonna happen.
Michu said I'm gonna try and beat Jacko.
Oh, well, we all have our goals in this league. As more people keep joining.
Good luck. No. Should I be nice and say good luck?
Okay. Joa needs to do an update on his F1 because they haven't been on all week.
I say
And
good
it takes
luck,
15 minutes, so...
I'm being nice. I don't know why.
Aiden, when are you not nice?
Until Rally screams in the cat and and hopefully it's more. Remember the race.
Doing comms if you can.
Fishy, are you arrested? What?
Huh?
Jasper said, Fishy, are you arrested? Alright. Well.
Seb, I'm just waiting for Seb and Joa.
It's Matty.
But it's 6 o'clock, so... remember everyone. I'm gonna put it in the chat as well. No, minute silence. Don't ready up until I say so from the start of qualifying.
For the Ukrainians.
Yeah.
You don't, I'll shoot you.
That's a bit far.
No.
Right. I guess we can go then with 10 people. Joey should be joining, but he's got an update to do on his game. And, yeah.
Bamiang.
Philip and Orbsy. Orbsy's second race in the league.
If you take SY and SMH out, it's a Bamiang.
What?
What? AUB means a Bamiang.
Right, minute silence. Yeah. Okay, so the minute silence is now up. Unfortunately, someone did ready up and press go to track. We'll be investigating that. We're going to see a lot of Ukraine helmets to obviously pay respect to what is happening in the real life world. But for now, let's go racing around Imola and see how our drivers do for today. We have no clue what the weather's going to be like either. Could be raining, could be sunny. Like we've had plenty of times this season, but at the moment it's Verify ahead of Young Shots, whereas in the championship it is the other way round after last weekend. Young Shots getting his double win and he's invalidated. So is Mike Shaw. The two Carlins have both invalidated. Skip Pratt is far behind. I think he's had a spin or something. He's invalidated. Verify meanwhile is invalidated too. Verify is invalidated. Phillips in the wall. He's retired. Fishy on his debut in 5th. Orbsy 4th. Jacobo on his debut for HWA in 3rd at the moment. Tam Voucher's P2. And Ryan is on for his first ever qualifying pole of the season. And he's done it. Ryan ahead of Tam Voucher, ahead of Jacobo, Orbsy and Fishy. So the other 5 of them getting disqualified from the session due to track limit invalidations, which is interesting. I'll check the comments. I am talking. Age, you can hear me, right?
Yep.
Okay, I am talking then, Philip.
But I'm not. I only talk when people overtake.
So Ryan ahead, 1.5 ahead of Tam Voucher. And this is the grid for the feature race, which is the second one. But obviously it'll be Skip Pratt and Philip on the front row for the sprint race, which is our first race. And Ryan will be in P10. So good points dished out as long as you finish these 2 races today. And we'll check the weather once we get into the sprint race. It's looking a bit overcast, but I'm not sure if there's any rain or not. I will check the chat if there's any rain in this race. I don't believe there will be, because I can see a bit of blue sky, but you never know. It's Imola. We've seen rain a lot of times. So good luck to Tier 2 drivers today. I believe that Formation Lap is on. If it's not, then I'm sorry. Yeah, it's on. Formation Lap is on. So Skip Rat leads us away for the Formation Lap from pole position. Reverse grid pole, of course, and that's Fishy already spun behind the rest of the drivers. Oh, and Skip Rat nearly loses it as well. Verify has got up into P2. Phil's been disqualified, so made contact with someone else then. But Verify's just leading them away. He doesn't want any games, but his tyres will be the coldest by the time he gets to the grid, which isn't a good thing to have, especially in F2 cars. These tyres with the lowest surface, well, less surface of the tyres, there's going to be less temperature, so you don't really want to be too far ahead of the rest of the pack and sitting on that grid for ages. I'll go through the weekend stats. We have only got a short weekend build up. So Imola round 12 of Rapid Racing League in season 2. Tier 2 is held Friday at 6 PM. So the circuit stats, this is all I've got at the moment. For the second time in Rapid Racing League, we go racing around the 19 corners, 4.909 kilometres, 3.050 miles of Imola. And the tyres are to be used today are the softs, the mediums, and of course the full wets if needed. I'm going to do a little tiny recap, even though it's not in the weekend build-up. But last week, in the feature race, we saw one of the most hectic races of all season. We had Ryan flipping in the air and quite a few cars involved, and we had our first safety car of the whole season at round 11 at Russia. So yeah, we'll see if any of that happens today, as we just wait for our drivers now to line up on the grid. Fishy will be the last one to get in his grid spot. And we'll just wait now. Right. But Young Shots leads over Verify in the championship. Mitchell catching behind as well. So here we go then. 5 red lights for Imola in the sprint race. For tier 2, it's lights out and away we go. Skiprat gets a good launch off the start, but so does Philip. It's quite equal off the start. Jacobo drops down to last place. He's trying to avoid that turn 1 chaos, I believe. Meanwhile, the two teammates going side by side. Young Shots and Maichor, the two championship rivals as well. They don't make contact, but that's Orbsy in the background, nearly spinning, and that's Fishy. He's already in the wall. I don't believe he's got damage from that. But Maichor's up into second place already. Philip's off the track. Philip is spinning in the gravel. He hasn't rejoined unsafely, which is a good thing to do. But Skiprat still leads over Maichor. Then verifying third. Young Shots has kept position in P4. Tam Voucher P5 and his teammate Orbsy in 6th. Actually battling with Ryan here, going side by side into a very awkward part of the track. But Ryan has to back out of that one. Meanwhile, Maichor has got a better exit on Skiprat. They're going side by side to the chicane. Very tight chicane. Skiprat turns in a little bit early there. But they're still going side by side actually. A bit of contact made between the two drivers. But Maichor's lost a place to Verify now, and could lose a place to his teammate, Young Shots. Shots looks around the outside, but he doesn't make it work, and Verify's through, up into the lead after Skiprat makes a mistake. The two Carlins going side by side now. Tam Voucher also getting involved in this. But two Carlins nearly making contact. Could it be 3 wide down this straight, or maybe even 4 wide between these drivers? We're going to go on board with Young Shots as we can't get a good camera angle. He's going to go down the inside of Skiprat into turn 1, I believe, and he gets the move done nicely and tries to catch up to his championship rival Verify. It's 3 wide now down to the next chicane as Skiprat gets back through on Young Shots and has to stay, and Young Shots has to stay behind. He's also losing a place to Maichor at the moment. He's going side by side with Tam Voucher. It's all up and down at the moment between Young Shots and Skiprat. But Skiprat has done very well to keep P2. He's going to feel a lot of pressure though, is Skiprat, as Ryan and Orbsy once again going to try and go side by side through this bit. It's not going to work though. It's way too tight and way too risky. But Young Shots has got the better exit than Maichor this time, off that awkward chicane, uphill chicane, and gets the move done on his teammate. And now goes chasing after Skiprat once more. But will he be able to do it soon? Or will Maichor go for the move on his teammate? He doesn't do it into the last 2 corners. But Orbsy gets the first penalty of the race, of this weekend. And now we've got a whole train of cars. This is going to be a DRS train when it gets enabled. But Young Shots now. He's gaining a lot in the slipstream, so DRS and slipstream going to be powerful around here actually at Imola. But we see no change in position at the moment. But Young Shots gets a better exit than Skiprat off that corner, and he goes down the inside and he's spun. Young Shots is in the wall, and he's lost some of his front wing. He's going to have to pit for repairs after that. But Maichor, his teammate, actually gets a move done on Skiprat. Skiprat nearly loses it. It's going to allow Tam Voucher to go up the outside, maybe even 3 wide between Skiprat's teammate as well. Oh, and a bit of contact there. Ryan's going to get the double move though. Oh, and there's contact and Skiprat's round. Skiprat has spun round. Yeah, and he's come back on the track, and it's very close there between a few drivers. but Skiprat down in P9 after being in the lofty heights of P2 for most of this race. But Ryan getting the double move done on his teammate and Tam Voucher, so Tam Voucher keeps P4 as Ryan promotes himself by 2. Is Tam Voucher going to go for the ballsy move into the second last corner? He goes into the gravel. He's completely overcooked that one and has to rejoin just behind his teammate. There's a bit of contact and Jacobo's spun at the last corner. Jacobo has spun it. He's avoided the barrier, so no damage for him at the moment, luckily for him. And Tam Voucher's going to look for the move now on his teammate. The 2 Tridents. We haven't seen much of 2 Tridents this whole season, but they're going to go side by side into the first chicane. Nearly a bit of contact made. Tam Voucher goes for the switchback, doesn't pull it off though, and he's going to have to wait behind his teammate now, just for a little bit longer. We could see quite a big battle between teammates for the first time this season in this race, which will be very exciting for this league. It's a yellow flag, that's for Fishy, also known as Hennon. As Tam Voucher's going to look for the move on his teammate. Doesn't go for it though, as Orbsy blocks it off a little bit. They're going to go side by side into this bit. It's very risky for teammates to do. No, they're not. Tam Voucher has to stay behind once again and try and hope for a better exit than... Oh, and Orbsy actually lets Tam Voucher through. So maybe that's tactical for the DRS. No one knows. Or maybe it's just teamwork to not hold each other up for too long. But Ryan is actually keeping up with Mitchell in P2, but Verify is completely stormed away and he's leading the race by 4.5 seconds already, which is a massive amount, especially here at Imola. And yeah, Orbsy has the DRS. He's getting away from Phil. Young Shots has pit for that damage, which is a shame for him. It was going well until, well, he was making the move on Skiprat, and then he just completely lost the back end, which I've done so many times, and I'm sure that a lot of other people have done. Jacobo gets a penalty. It's the second penalty of this race. Oh, and Orbsy nearly loses the back end there. Nearly goes into the barrier. Oh, and he has gone into the barrier. He's done a Lewis Hamilton. And completely gone into the barrier, and now he's got damage. He's going to have to rejoin a bit safely, as he's got Jacobo right behind him. Jacobo is around the outside of Orbsy at the moment. Orbsy backs out of that one, the damage not being able to carry him through on the inside, and Jacobo gets up into P6 after his spin at the last corner. Orbsy gets another penalty. That damage really not helping him at all. But this is the most I've seen the cars spread out in a sprint race. A lot of action has gone on here at Imola. Orbsy has just spun it off the chicane completely. Skiprat gets another penalty. Orbsy, do not retire on track if you're watching, please. Orbsy, you will get a penalty for that if you retire on track. I'm just keeping this for video evidence just in case. But Ryan has actually caught up to Mitchell. He's 1 second behind, so no move yet. But we will... Oh, and Ryan's actually made a mistake. He's 2 seconds behind now. So the pressure getting to Ryan more than it is to Mitchell. And that's spread the gap out again, as that's Orbsy has retired on track. And that's a virtual safety car. So, virtual safety car here in Imola to neutralise the race. We're hoping that we can get a couple more people in by the feature race. We should be waiting for Joe and Seb to race. As the virtual safety car still is out on lap 6 out of 13. Orbsy's joystick blocked in the left. Oh, that's odd.
That's Really well.
Yeah. Oh,
No.
and Young Shots has a drive-through for speeding under the virtual safety car. And that's completely messed up his race. And this is good news for Verify now, though, as he could gain critical points back in the championship just with 3 weekends left. 5 races left after this one. And that's Fishy, who's nearly spun it again at the last corner. Keeping it quiet down there in P8. But it will still be good points for Campos, since they haven't really had that since the start of the season, when Nova and Glowsticks were driving for them. A lot has changed this whole season with the drivers, and a lot is changing actually for next season. I'll read you through some of the tier 2 confirmed lineups. So in HWA we have Fishy. This is a yellow flag on sector 1, that's for Fishy. Young Shots is serving his drive through now. He's going to stay in the race though, critical points for the championship. So in HWA we have Fishy. High Tech will have Verify and Dylan. So that will be an interesting lineup. In Prema we've only got one confirmed, that's a Rise. Campos and UNI Virtuosi, none have been officially confirmed in any of the in the TweetGens chat. Carlin will be Young Shots and Ryan, so that will be a very exciting lineup at Carlin. Ryan back in the Carlin. Charouz will be JDM and Joa, so those two will also be pretty exciting for the lineup. MP haven't confirmed theirs, neither has Trident, and ART Skiprat is staying put as Mychor gets a 3-second penalty, which is going to affect him at the end of the race if it stays as it is. Oh, and Ryan's actually lapped Young Shots, and so's Mychor. So the championship leader has been lapped in the sprint race. That's how much of a bad race he's had. And is he going to go for the move on Ryan actually and slow him down so he doesn't catch up his teammate? And Tanvoucher's left. Tanvoucher has spun it and left. I'm not sure what's happening there. But Young Shots, maybe this is tactical for Carlin to help hold up Ryan, his future teammate for next season, so he doesn't catch Mychor. And if you're wondering where Mychor's going, he's actually going to Haas with Swifty for tier 1, which will be very exciting. Those two very quick drivers in tier 2 as well. Tanvoucher has joined back. Yeah, he won't be very happy. Ryan gets back past Young Shots. The blue flag's coming into effect finally. As we see in this battle between Ryan and Mychor and Jacobo and Phil, both very close to one another. But we'll stay with Ryan at the moment. He seems to be under pressure by Young Shots, as he gets the fastest first sector actually. So Ryan obviously being pushed to his limits just to stay ahead of Mychor. I mean, ahead of Young Shots. He's closing up though. Young Shots on the fresher tyres. Only 2 laps old. And of course he's been through the pit lane. Fishy has gone into the pits. Is that for the fastest lap maybe? I can't see why it would be to retire. It would be good points if he stayed in. So, as we've said multiple times this whole season, it's best if you don't retire in the pit lane. You could gain good points for your teams, mostly. That's all the team principals care about, as that's a yellow flag for Skiprat in the second sector. We'll see that. He spun it there, and there's another yellow flag. Oh. As Young Shots has actually got through on Ryan now, which isn't an actual move. Jacobo though has got past Philip. Is Philip going to send it back down the inside? No, he's not. Jacobo gets a move for P4 on his debut race in Rapid Racing League. Jacobo gets up into P4 for HWA. So we'll stick with this battle actually, because as it's got quite close without me noticing. Will Philip be able to get back at Jacobo for that P4? There's another yellow flag. That's for Fishy.
Again.
Oh, Philip's going to look down the inside of Jacobo actually. Into that quick left-hander. Would have been an amazing move if you'd have made it stick. But he hasn't. And he nearly goes into the back of Jacobo there. Very late under the braking is Philip, as we've seen plenty of times this season. Philip actually gets a penalty, so he would have been able to take that P4 off Jacobo if he'd have just stayed clean with the penalties, but he's not managed to do that. So now he's got to fight for it on track with 2 laps to go. I believe 3 laps to go. Jacobo got the quickest last sector, so maybe the dirty air off Philip was slowing him down a little bit. Could we see Jacobo get the fastest lap for HWA and take it off? Let me check who's got it. Verify. Oh, and Jacobo spun. Jacobo has spun it. And Philip gets back through. Verify now. The leader of the race and championship leader. Oh, no, not championship leader. I'm not sure if he will be after this race, but he gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Fishy, meanwhile, is in the pits once again. He didn't actually stop for new tyres the last time that he pit. So I don't know why he went through. Maybe he got a drive-through penalty like Young Shots did. But Ryan has got a 3-second penalty, so once again he would have took P2 off Mitchell if he'd have just kept it clean. And Young Shots gets the fastest lap now off his championship rival Verify, which means a lot in this championship. He's got the DRS on Ryan. He's not going to go for the move though. He's not going to go and unlap himself. He will check the penalties. So it's 3 seconds all around, except for Tam Voucher and Young Shots. So the guy's keeping it more clean than usual with the track limits, which is good to see. As Mitchell has actually slowed down a little bit, or Ryan's sped up a lot, because it's got to 1.6 seconds now. Ryan knows that he needs to get this move done on track since he's got this penalty. So he's really pushing for it and to try and get this move finally done. But he's got Mitchell's teammate Young Shots right behind him, putting pressure on him all the time. Skifrat gets a penalty. Ryan drifts it through the chicane. Jacobo's caught back up to Philip meanwhile. This could be a move now. But Young Shot's still very close to Ryan. Ryan will get overtaken down this straight, I'm assuming, with the DRS. So here goes Young Shots once again, unlapping himself on Ryan. And now Jacobo is very close to Philip, as I believe that I saw Philip in the gravel. We're going to see our first real move of this race, as Jacobo is going to go to the inside of this next bit. Fishy has spun in Sector 1, Sector 2. I don't believe he's caught any car, and Jacobo has got the move done on Philip. Nicely done once again. Jacobo gets up into P4. As I was saying, I don't believe that Fishy collected any of the front runners when he spun, which is very lucky. But Verify is in the final sector now, and what a race this man has had. He's led basically from start to finish, and he's absolutely dominated this. 8.5 seconds going into the final 2 corners. And amazing after the DNF in Austria as well. To claw some more championship points back. He wins here in Imola. He doesn't get the fastest lap, but it's a win anyway. Mike Shaw is going to come home for P2 for Carlin, which is very nice. Ryan in P3. Jacobo is looking to take P4. Shots does get P8. He'll be disappointed after that sprint race, but he'll be looking to come back in the feature race, where strategy plays a main part. Yeah, Jacobo will get 4th place on his debut, so just 1 step off the podium for Jacobo, which is a very nice race for him. Philip P5, Tam Voucher P6, after that weird glitch where he spun and then he just left. Skiprat, after leading from pole position, going down to P7 now, and he will finish the race in P7. Fishy finishes his debut in P9. Not a very strong race from him, but he'll be looking to improve as well among the others. As I believe that Joe is in now, so High Tech will be getting some points. So there he is, your sprint race winner for Imola. Verify. So I'll check the chat. Tam voucher is ridiculous, unsafe re-entry. Ooh, okay, so that could be a report. Welcome Kiko, welcome Billy, welcome Raleigh, welcome Cameron to the stream. I'll screenshot the results because usually I don't remember to do that now, but I will this time. Oh, there we go. Jacobo actually got the same amount of points. Oh, wait, hold on. No, Young Shot's got that fastest lap in the end. Just by a 10th away from his championship rival Verify. As we now wait for... And no one knows if it's going to be dry.
Or rain.
Or rain. So, we will see. And it's sunny. It's completely sunny. So no rain this weekend. Which is very good for the drivers. As we wait now for the formation lap. And his first pole position of the league for Ryan, who starts P1. Verify once again starts straight away and goes ahead of everyone else. So Ryan qualified P1, Tam Voucher qualified on the front row, so just missing out on that pole position. Jacobo in P3, just 1 place ahead of where he finished in the sprint race. Orbsy P4, who DNF'd in the sprint. Fishy P5, who had a lot of troubles during that sprint race. Verify P6, who just absolutely dominated the sprint. Young Shot doing an audacious strategy. The only one to start on the soft tyres. So he's going for the harder compound at the end of the race. His teammate Mitchell in P8, Phil in P9, Skipper at P10, and Joa, who is actually High Tech, he's not Prima. This happened in Belgium as well when he joined just for the feature race. Well, and that's Fishy, who's spun it. Joa rounds off the grid in P11 and will be getting points for High Tech today, not for Prima. I'll check chat. So Young Shots is actually on old softs. So that's not going to be the best for him, actually. Those will be the tyres from qualifying then, I'm assuming. Unless it's from the sprint race where he used that extra set of soft tyres. When he had to go for his pit stop for a new front wing. If it is from that, then it'll affect him more than if it was from qualifying. So we're yet to see then what will happen in today's feature race. We had a crazy one last week in Russia. Could it be the same today?
Don't say that word. I don't like it.
Right, okay. Here we go then. We're just waiting for Mitchell as we go to 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 red lights to the Imola feature race. It's lights out and away we go. Ryan gets an amazing start compared to Tam Voucher. He's leading already by quite a significant amount. Tam Voucher's going to tuck into the slipstream though of Ryan. Are we going to see any moves into turn 1? Fishy goes down the inside, makes it 3 wide between him, Jacobo and Tam Voucher. There's a bit of squeezing going on as well. Jacobo comes back onto the track, but nothing, no major contact there. Tam Voucher keeps P2, verifies up into P3, Fishy in P4, keeping it nicely on the road. Young Shots in P5, Orbsy P6, Mitchell P7. Skiprat is in P8, Philip P9, and Jacobo, after going off the track, is down in P10. Joe has kept position in P11 as Ryan leads by 1.3 seconds already, and that's Orbsy. He's gone off the track, oh, and he's in the wall. He's done it George Russell style, and he's lost his front wing, but no virtual safety car. I believe he's still having issues with his controller, but we'll monitor that. Orbsy's out of the session once again. Hopefully it's not a safety car, but here goes Young Shots. Looking for the move on Fishy. Doesn't get it done. He's going to have to wait, as Jacobo has got the move done on Philip. These two battling for P4 in the last race. Jacobo goes for the switchback, but Joa, full high-tech, is looking for that move, the double move on Philip and Jacobo. As Verify and Tam Voucher into turn 1, they're wheel banging through turn 1. It's very close between these two, but Verify gets the move done nicely. Tam Voucher moves over to defend from Young Shots, but Shots has got up into P3. Fishy's out. Fishy has crashed from P5, I believe. As Jacobo and Philip both still battling, and so is Joa. Joa's involved in this. It's very close between these two. They're going to go side by side through the left-hander. But Philip comes out on top, ahead of Joa. And Ryan still leads by a second, but Verify is going to try and get that gap to less, which he has already done. He's to 8/10 now. But Young Shots up into P3 in the podium positions on those softs. He's going to have to push those softs as much as he can, make the most of it, because these guys on the mediums will be on the faster compound near the end of the race. As Verify sets the fastest lap of the race, Young Shots is 1.1 behind his championship rival. Tam Voucher just behind that, and Mitchell and Skiprat as well. Oh, Skiprat nearly loses the back end. It's going to help Jacobo catch up a little bit. Meanwhile, Joa and Philip pushing each other off the track. It's very close. Joa has to stay behind. Oh, and Verify's really close to Ryan. He's gone up the inside of the hairpin. There's nearly a bit of contact there, but Ryan's going to keep ahead at the moment. They're not going to go side by side to the left-hander. Verify has to stay behind Ryan. So we nearly saw a move then for the lead. Verify looking very strong this whole weekend, just as Young Shots did in Russia. He's definitely got the overall pace compared to everyone else, as Verify. But DRS will come into Verify's advantage against Ryan for this race lead, as we've just got 2 more corners to go until that DRS, and then we might see a move. So here we go then. DRS is open for Verify. Go across the finish line. Young Shots and Mitchell both set fastest laps. So did Verify, but they're all trading. Is Verify going to go to the inside of turn 1? Yes, he is. They're going to go side by side. Oh, no, they're not. Verify backs out there, which helps Young Shots catch up just a little bit. Meanwhile, Mitchell is looking for the move on Tam Voucher. Skiprat is off the track, and Jacobo gets through. That's also Joe who spun, and Tam Voucher spun as well. Tam Voucher is off the track, and in the gravel, Jacobo gains another position through a spin. Yeah, Joe also spinning off Skiprat as well, Tam Voucher. So yeah, it's the lap of the spinners, which we usually have every week. Ryan still leads ahead of Verify. He was able to do some good defensive work to keep that lead ahead of Verify into turn 1. But Verify is a lot closer this time. He is more than likely going to be going for the move, as Young Shots goes very wide. Jacobo gets the first penalty of the feature race, and Verify is going to get it done before the DRS zone. Oh, and who was ahead there for the DRS detection? There was a bit of tactics going on there between the two of them. Neither of them wanted to be ahead, but Verify has ended up with a DRS on Ryan, and he's going to get the move done even before turn 1. Jacobo sets the fastest lap of the race. Ryan's going to have to slot him in behind Verify and try not to lose him, as was done in the sprint race. But there's also Young Shots there as well, behind Ryan. This time, not a lap down. But Young Shots, if he's smart enough, he's not going to battle Ryan, and just try and get the move done sneakily for when these two are battling. But Mitchell's also catching up in the background. Mitchell has had a very quiet weekend. He's not been on the podium in the sprint race. Could that change for this weekend? As there's very late braking from Ryan and Young Shots. Both going later on the brakes than each other, as Mitchell's now within a second of these lot. Oh, and Verify drifted through the chicane. I believe there was a bit of contact from the front end of Ryan to the back end of Verify. Will there be a bit more tactics going into this corner? Ryan tactically does stay behind Verify and gets the DRS for this next straight. The only DRS zone. But we've also got the 2 Carlins in the background as well that are looking to strike on Verify. Vulnerable without that DRS. Mitchell sets the fastest lap of the race. His shot's going to have the speed to get the move done on Verify. No, he's not, but he's a lot closer than he was before. And we'll be looking for any opportunity available. He just needs to get better exits and then Verify. But those old soft tyres are really not helping, as there's a yellow flag. That's for Skiprat. He's off at turn 2. Tam Voucher slows down to allow Skiprat back on the track and gets the move done. No, he's alongside him. Oh, and that's contact. Tam Voucher's round. He's nearly collected Joa. But for P2, Young Shots has got the move done on Verify. I didn't even notice this while all of that was going on. Shots really making use now of those soft tyres. And is Mitchell going to help out his teammate Young Shots and go for the move on Verify? He's not into the chicane, but Verify looks to be struggling on those mediums. shots, meanwhile. Yeah, Verify must have gone wide then. And Mitchell looking for the move now on Verify. Mitchell's still in this championship battle. He just needs to keep gaining points over his teammate and Verify. Does Verify get the... Yeah, Verify does have the DRS as well, so that's not really going to help Mitchell. He's just a DRS train at the moment. But Ryan still leads. He's had such a good race so far. He's now got his future teammate for next season chasing after him. The pressure is on, as I've seen Ryan go wide quite a few times. He's got to look out that he doesn't get a penalty though, since that could be the difference between a race win and just one step off the podium. Meanwhile, Tam Voucher pits for the mandatory stop in this feature race. The first one to pull the trigger in the Trident. As we'll watch this top four once again, the closest on track are these top four. Very competitive drivers, all for the top positions. As Shots gets an amazing exit off the uphill chicane into the next right-left chicane, and there's a bit more contact. Ryan is still going side by side though with Young Shots. Verify is also sneaking his nose in there on Ryan, but Young Shots is going to be vulnerable to the DRS of the rest of these guys, as Verify's down the inside of Ryan. So oh, and that's contact. Mitchell's round. Mitchell is round, so that's one less car out of this battle. Young Shots pits. Verify Ryan though left with the DRS. Ryan's got the slipstream to get the move done on Verify. They're going to go side by side now to turn one. And Ryan's up the inside. Oh, and he tries to avoid contact by cutting the corner a little bit there, which doesn't really help. Yes, Skiff Pratt and Joa are very close on track at the moment. As Skiff Pratt gets the move done on Joa before turn one. That DRS proving to be very powerful. Skiff Pratt nearly loses it into turn one there. He's got to be careful he doesn't make many more mistakes. Whoa. That was a very aggressive slowdown in front of Joa, and that's more contact. More contact between these two. Ryan is very close to Verify, I must add. Pushing him through the uphill chicane. And we're going to see if anyone decides to pit this lap. Young Shots' soft tyres went 7 laps. Possibly longer. We don't know how much longer. Since he was on worn softs at the start of the race. So maybe these guys could pit. Joe would get the move done on Skiff Pratt, but we're going to head back to these two. Verify's in the pits. Ryan's carried on with the DRS. He's going to want to completely use that DRS to his advantage and try and push as much as possible. Mike Chaw's also in the pits. Is Philip going to come in? Philip stays out. How about Joa and Skiff Pratt? Yeah, Joa comes in. Skiff Pratt doesn't. So that will be interesting from ART. The two drivers staying out. But maybe this could be tactics. Skiff Pratt ahead of Verify. To try and slow Verify down so Ryan has more of a chance of keeping the race lead. As Young Shots has overcut Verify and got up into P5. This will be provisional P2 at the moment. Or maybe even P1. But he's got nearly a second ahead, so that undercut proving to be powerful. But we have got the tyre difference now. Mediums versus the softs. As Tam Voucher goes quicker on the soft tyres, gets the fastest lap away from, I think it was Mitchell. Yep, that's what I can remember last, so I'm going with that. But Verify just staying within that second of Young Shots. Shots doesn't want to be doing that very often. As Ryan gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Jacobo leads. Still yet to pit. But Ryan, a massive turnaround in this race, gets a 5-second time penalty. which could effectively lose him the race win. So we're going to watch now 2 young shots. Where will Ryan come out? As Skiprat comes in the pits. So 2 ARTs coming in on the same lap as each other. And Ryan is just near the end of the pit lane now. Young Shots sets the fastest lap. And we're going to watch. There's Young Shots in the background. There's Verify. Young Shots has overcut Ryan. As Verify as well. Verify has overcut Ryan. So undercut. So the undercut very powerful here at Imola. Oh, Verify nearly loses it. He's nearly in the barrier. Oh, that could have been very dramatic for this championship. Chasing down his championship rival for the lead of the race. He could have been out and scoring no points as Ryan drifts it through that corner. But the only advantage that Ryan's got now is the fresher soft compound, which he'll be looking to use to his advantage. Meanwhile, we look to Tam Voucher, Joa and Skiprat, all battling for P7. These are the guys that have been very quiet this weekend. As Jacobo now pits from the lead of the race. I'm assuming that Philip will follow him in. We're going to watch this pit stop from Jacobo. Oh, and Joe has got a multiple warnings penalty. Philip is in the pits as well. Nice pit stop from Jacobo. Nice release. And onto the fresher soft compound. Here comes Young Shots though, to be ahead of Jacobo and takes the lead officially of the race. Meanwhile, Ryan is looking around the outside of Verify to get the move done, and he's got it done nicely before turn 1 there. Mitchell is also ahead of Jacobo. He's just a bit further behind Verify, as Verify is going to try and stay with Ryan as much as he can. But Ryan, with those fresher soft compound of tyres, looking to gain away and get up to his future teammate for the lead of the race once again. As Tam Voucher's very close now to Joa. There's a yellow flag, that's for Skiprat. He's off at turn 2 once again. We've seen him make many mistakes there this weekend, and it's not been the best for him. But Tam Voucher looking to get a better exit than Joa, racing for High Tech.
Oh, 2-team Tech Voucher.
Yeah, Tam Voucher on Joa looking for that move, but he's not going to get it done yet. Really get a better exit off the uphill chicane, which we've seen from many drivers today. As Philip gets a multiple warning penalty, and that's 3 seconds to his time at the end of the race. Ryan gets the fastest lap of the race, and he's right behind Young Shots for this race lead. Young Shots, of course, on the mediums, Ryan on the fresher soft tyres. Verify's dropped back by 1.4 seconds to Ryan, and this is now the battle for the race lead between 2 drivers that will become teammates in that Carling car. Ryan goes up the inside of Young Shots very aggressively. There's a bit of contact made. Young Shots cuts across there to try and stop him from going up the inside. Tam Voucher and Joa, meanwhile, switching positions as Tam Voucher gets ahead of Joa. These two, though, for the lead. Ryan's still right behind Young Shots. He gets a better exit, actually. And they're side by side to the next chicane. Is Ryan going to back off and try and get the DRS from Young Shots? He's gone for the switchback and it's worked, but he's just stayed behind Young Shots, maybe for that DRS, going for the tactical move rather than the move on track. And yes, he gets the DRS for the next straight. So does Verify. So this could mean a lot in the championship, as Young Shots will be the most vulnerable one to both Ryan and Verify, as Ryan's going to go to the outside now and gets the move done. Will Verify make a move? Yes, he's going to... Oh, he looks for it, but he doesn't go for it. So playing it nice and smartly. They're both in the championship fight. Ryan's got nothing to lose, so they're just playing it nice and safely. It's Verify and Young Shots. Young Shots goes a bit wide there. Could Verify send one to the inside of the hairpin like Ryan did? He doesn't. And meanwhile behind, while this is all going on, Maicho and Jacobo very close to one another. But Verify is gaining so much on Young Shots. Ryan needs to completely get away from these two. He needs to hope that these two championship rivals battle quite a lot for him to get away 5 seconds for that speeding in the pit lane penalty. All he needs to do is get out of that second to Young Shots, and he should be able to pull away, which we've seen plenty of times this season. Whether it's different at Imola is another story, as Jacobo gets a multiple warning penalty for track limits and 3 seconds added to his time at the end of the race. So here we go then. Championship contenders, both battling. They've both got the DRS. Verify's going to have to use that slipstream as much as he can. That's nearly contact between the two. It could have been a crash there, but Verify's had to stay behind. Jacobo's got past Maicho meanwhile. As a very nice move. Verify has got the better exit than Young Shots. Is he going to go up the inside of this chicane? Oh, and he does look for it, and he sends Shots a bit wide in, on his line. Ryan just needs to focus on ahead and trying to get away, because he's only 8 tenths ahead. And he's got 5 laps to try and get 5 seconds. He needs a second a lap in order to keep that race win. And these two to keep battling. He doesn't want to be looking behind him too much at these two. I know it's entertaining, but you can watch it back on the live stream replay. Verify's dropped back a little bit there. Maicho looking...
overtook.
Yeah. Jacobo and Maicho both having a nice little battle here on track, as Ryan is just borderline a second ahead, and I believe he is a second ahead at the DRS. We'll check if Young Shots has the DRS on Ryan. No, he doesn't. He's going to be vulnerable now to Verify. Verify has the DRS and the slipstream. Yeah, he's going to look for the move to the outside, then to the inside for Verify on his championship rival. He cuts across Young Shots and gets up into P2, and he's looking to chase after Ryan and maybe make it a double win of this weekend. Meanwhile, Maicho and Jacobo both looking for moves on one another. Jacobo has that sorted at the moment. Got it done and dusted. It's not over until the race finishes. So we could yet see a move or plenty of drama happen here at Imola in these final few laps. As Verify is only 4 tenths behind Ryan, both on the soft compound of tyres now. So no tyre advantage, just that Ryan has 1 lap younger softs than Verify, as they're both pulling away from Young Shots now. Maicho and Jacobo going side by side through the chicane. Maicho is ahead at the DRS line, as I believe that Jacobo won't go for the move. He's not that silly. He's not silly at all, to be fair. But there we go then. The move for the lead of the race. Verify on Ryan, and he gets the job done before turn 1. And Ryan will be looking to strike back as Jacobo gets past Maicho with the DRS once again for the 3rd lap running, I believe. These two having an amazing battle for P4. And if Jacobo can make it 2 P4s in his debut weekend, then I'm sure he'll be very happy with that. But he has got that penalty to deal with. Maicho doesn't have that problem. And he's only got 3 laps to get 3 seconds. over Michael, which is very difficult. We've seen Michael's pace this whole season. It's been very quick. And yeah, Michael's still staying with him. Not a lot has happened here at Imola, which is very contrasting compared to last week at Russia, as Skiprat has spun. Down there in P9, having a quiet, lonely race. As we might see a move from Tam Voucher actually on Philip. Oh, Michael on Jacobo with the DRS and cuts him off before the corner, so Jacobo doesn't think about sending it to the inside or the outside, and Michael gets the move done. But Jacobo's going to come back at him round the outside. He doesn't make it work though, which is to be expected. That corner is very awkward to do on your own. As Tam Voucher goes for the move now on Philip. Up into P6 goes Tam Voucher. And now Joa, of all drivers, needs to be looking for this move on Philip. It'll help High Tech massively in the constructors. As I believe he's doing that. Joa brakes very early though, which is probably losing him a bit of time. But Philip does go very wide because he brakes very late as well. So we go back to the battle for the lead. Ryan's got a great exit. I'm going to stay with this battle for the lead as Ryan goes down the inside of Verify into the second last corner. He's got nothing to lose, but Verify has got a lot to lose. And that will be points to his championship rival and the championship itself. As we go on to the final lap, Ryan overtakes Verify for the lead of the race and gets the move done. I don't believe he'll win it on track though, Ryan, with that 5-second time penalty. Jacobo also gets the move done on Michael. Michael's going to really have to send it, but he doesn't need to. Because Jacobo has that penalty. All he needs to do is keep it clean, stay within 3 seconds of Jacobo, and he's got the move done. And Jacobo's off the track. Jacobo was in the gravel, and that's allowed Michael to go through. And surely we won't be seeing any more moves for P4. Meanwhile, Joa has got past Philip, but Philip's going to send it to the inside. There's a bit of contact there between front wing and rear wheel. But Joe's got the move done on Philip. Meanwhile, we cut back to the battle for the lead of the race. On this final lap, I don't think that Verify is going to risk anything. It'll be very silly to do so, since he'll get the win anyway because of Ryan's penalty. As Ryan will, at the moment, he'll drop down to P3, which is still a podium. It's better than last week's feature race. At least he's not upside down. But Verify will make it a double weekend win, as Young Shots did last weekend. Young Shots finishes P2, Michael P4, Jacobo finishes P5. A very good debut for him. Tam Voucher is still ahead of Joa and Philip for P6. I don't think that there's going to be any move for P6, or in fact for P7, unless there's a spin. Aiden, if you want to add my... Oh, and that's low fuel mode for Philip. So he's lost that position anyway. He's lost P7 anyway. Yeah, he's in low fuel mode as he comes across the line in P8. If you want to add Verify to the party, we'll only interview the race winner. So we're going to watch Skiprat. Will he go for his donuts? Thank you. Here goes Skiprat for his donuts. He's gone onto the gravel and the grass for the first time. So, Verify. Good weekend for you, double win. It's good to get those points back, I'm assuming, from Young Shots. So tell us, how stressful or non-stressful were those two races?
Well, it didn't go as I expected because I kind of won that sprint race pretty easily. I could see that I was faster than my sure shots. I wasn't sure until the feature race, and yeah, I just had to fight my own controller try to kill me. So
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you caught that on stream, but I almost got sent into the barrier.
No, I didn't manage to catch that, but we've had a few controller issues into this weekend, Orbsy being one of them. But it was a good weekend from you. You dominated the sprint race, as you said. You didn't have very high hopes going into this weekend, but it's paid off, and you've got the win in the sprint race. How was the battling? I must ask for the feature race.
Pretty stressful, knowing that at any moment I could sideswipe someone by accident or send myself into the grasses, whatever.
Yeah. It is very risky when you've got a faulty controller, but you did a very good job this whole weekend. The double win, as I said, and that will help you in the championship against Young Shots and Mitchell.
Yep.
So, congratulations, and we'll see you next week for Monza. Right. So, stream, thank you for joining for Imola. It's been a very good race, very entertaining feature race, I must say. And yeah, thanks for joining as always. And we'll see you next week for Monza, another Italian track.